We're on top of breaking news here. A teenager who died after a stabbing near a park in Oceanside. Thanks for being here. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Irampour. We're going to get right to CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live at Oceanside Police Headquarters getting the latest information. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning, Eric and Netta. What we do know this morning is a life taken way too soon. Police found a teenager around 5 p.m. last night with stab wounds to his chest. Now, I do want to bring you video of what the crime scene looked like last night. You can see investigators processing this scene. Martin Luther King Park is where officers found that 16-year-old male victim sustaining life-threatening stab wounds to the chest. Now, police tell us the victim was driven a short distance out of the immediate area of the park by an acquaintance who came to a stop near Mesa and Cinnamon Way. That's where first responders tried to save his life. He was then transported to Tri-City Medical Center for treatment, where he passed away around 11 p.m. last night. Now, we have very preliminary details at this point. I'm currently looking for answers on who or why someone would do this. Investigators from the Crimes of Violence Unit tell us they're actively investigating the suspects involved and interviewing witnesses from the park. Now, the victim has been identified, but his information is currently withheld until the family is fully notified. Oceanside Police Department asks if you have any information to provide regarding this fatal stabbing of this teenager, please call the police department. For any further updates, CBS8.com. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Oceanside.
Dana Marie, thank you. A woman accused of killing her 2-month-old baby is set to make her first court appearance today. Christine Mendoza was arrested Sunday after police conducted a welfare check on an apartment in Mission Valley. Today's arraignment is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. And this morning, an investigation underway after San Diego police shot and killed a man in South Crest. It happened around 5:30 yesterday in front of a taco shop along South 43rd Street. The Sheriff's Department is now in charge of this investigation. Deputies say someone inside the taco shop called 911 about a man with a gun. They say when officers arrived, a 33-year-old man came out of the restaurant and started shooting at them. 2 officers returned fire, hitting the man. No officers were hurt.
And now this morning, our gas prices are down again. Today's average price in San Diego County is $5.93 for a gallon of regular, and that is down 6 cents from yesterday. The average price has dropped for 14 consecutive days. Also today, President Biden expected to announce a plan aimed at lowering gas prices. Another 15 million barrels of oil will be released from the nation's Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It comes after OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, said it's making steep cuts in oil production. Some oil industry officials are criticizing the president's move and question the administration's understanding of our energy markets.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Yeah, the Padres are looking to wake up the bats as they want to, of course, even up the National League Championship Series here at home.
Yeah, the Friars only managed 1 hit in their loss to Philly. CBS 8's Chris Groh live at Petco Park with what happened in the opening game here. What's ahead for Game 2? We're just feeling the Phillies out a little bit, right?
Learning experience.
We know what we're doing now here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that fan was just simply long-term picture, which of course we always have our eye on, right? We're not worried about who wins Game 1. We're worried about who wins this series. And look, it's a storybook script so far here for the Padres, winning on the road against the Mets, taking down the giant Dodgers, the NL West champions, 111 wins. So it's not going to end here with the Phillies, at least not this way. So we lost 2-0 here in the first game. As we pointed out, the bats were not doing well, but it's sort of chicken or the egg, right? Were the bats not performing, or was Zach Wheeler for the Phillies just pitching a phenomenal game? 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit given up. On the flip side of that, Yu Darvish, who went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. You have to, again, wonder, is that simply a wasted effort by Yu Darvish, or did the bats, again, take advantage of what Darvish was dealing? Now, there were 2 home runs hit, both solo shots, so it's really hard to say. Bryce Harper hit one in the 4th inning, and then Kyle Schwarber, the big man, hit one in the 6th inning, and I swear to you guys, I was getting texts on my phone, people wondering, what was that noise? And it was indeed a 488 projected foot moonshot. The only thing that stopped it from going that distance was the stands, and it traveled off the bat at 120 miles per hour, projected to be, again, one of the hardest hit baseballs at Petco Park, if not ever. Now, of course, things didn't go exactly to plan, but if you think you're struggling with this, imagine being the parent of two players on either team here. Yes, we have, of course, Austin Nola and his brother, who plays for the Phillies, and their parents, who are either enjoying or dreading the upcoming result of this series.
Yeah, I haven't talked to my parents yet. They're on their way in. I've got a chance to visit with Aaron yesterday before all of our workouts. I know that, it's a busy time right now. We got our things to get prepared for the game and this series. So, yeah, it was good to see him, but it's time to play baseball now.
I know my dad wears two jerseys usually, and I think he usually wears the Phillies jersey over the Padres jersey when I pitch, and then vice versa when I don't pitch. So Austin plays pretty much every day, so I think he wears the Padres jersey a little bit more.
And so that was Aaron Nola, the younger sibling of Austin, and he's actually scheduled to start for the Phillies tomorrow. So that's why his dad will be wearing that Phillies jersey overhead. But guys, I think I have a suggestion for the Nolas. If you go back to, I believe it was Notre Dame versus Ohio State, I want to say this was like 2006, 2007, Brady Quinn and A.J. Hawk. There was something going on where someone was dating somebody's sister. The family didn't know what to do, and so there was a split jersey. Half of it Notre Dame, half of it Ohio State. So the Nolas, you guys got to call a seamstress. You guys got to call someone,
right.
split that thing in half, both jerseys, and combine them.
Yes.
And that way you never have to worry about putting one on top of the other.
Yeah, as we know, they're in town right now, so hopefully they're listening to your words of wisdom, Chris. Yes.
Although if they don't know the backstory and they're walking around with a half and half jersey, people are going to be real confused. That's for sure.
I do love that our director Brad had a NOLA also means no LA.
Oh, that's true.
That's fact.
Yeah, that is one team we're not talking about here. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And now game 2 is today at 1:35 at Petco Park, as we know, and then games 3 and 4 are in Philly. Game 5, if that's necessary, is also there. Should the series reach a game 6 and 7, that would all come back home, where hopefully we clinch it then.
Maybe that's part of their plan,
Yeah.
right, to get back here for game 6 to game 7. Today's Padres game, an early one. So if you need an excuse to skip work, listen to this. Local radio station 100.7 Big FM shared this doctor's note. It says, "Dear boss, I tested positive for Friar fever and cannot come to work today. As we know, it's spreading for the first time in 24 years. I have chills and they're multiplying. My symptoms include some San Diego's bumps. My vision is also as fuzzy as an umpire's, and I've got a fever of 103, so I cannot see myself coming into work until fever season is over."
That Friar fever is contagious, as we are seeing all across San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't think there will be much happening at workplaces this afternoon.
Especially if there's a TV on.
You know that even if there are people at work, you shouldn't be looking over at their second monitor because they're probably going to have the game going there. Let's take a look. Inside might be a better place to enjoy it if you don't have tickets into the park, and that is because we are seeing temperatures climb rapidly into the 90s this afternoon. Along the coastline, we'll probably rest in the upper 80s, but you see how inland we have a good expectation of at least the low 90s, in some cases mid 90s toward areas like El Cajon. 96 is their forecast high. It's a final day, though, of those Santa Anas in play before we start to see those winds shift onshore, and a cooling trend all the way through the upcoming weekend. It looks like that'll culminate to the chance of showers, 40 and 50% chance right now for Sunday, with temperatures in the mid 60s. So a pretty rapid drop, in some cases by 25 degrees inland from this afternoon through Sunday. Outside right now, 50s and 60s. It is 69 degrees in Poway, 63 in Escondido, and 58 in Oceanside. Forecast for the day is going to take us to the upper 80s along the coastline. Sunshine across all 4 microclimates. Upper 60s and low 70s for the mountains, and it looks like those deserts are going to rest in the low 90s. Notice that your inland valleys are just about as hot as your deserts this afternoon because of those Santa Anas coming over the mountaintops. So how intense are those wind gusts? Well, by 11 a.m. we'll be in the 30-mile-per-hour range. Purple on the screen indicating those pockets of upwards of 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Those winds continuing to be offshore, but take a look at the change that we're going to see. Overnight, winds will start to die down. We'll pick up on more of a northerly flow, and then by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, we shift back onshore, and that's going to be the reason for a cooling trend that'll be taking place from tomorrow afternoon all the way through the upcoming weekend. Yesterday, we broke the record in Anaheim. 96 degrees was the hottest October 18th they had seen. Old record was at 95. Chula Vista tied their previous record set back in 1993. And hey, if you're going to be out there for the game, keep in mind that by the time that game begins, we have some models that put us at 90 degrees because of that urban heat island that we see in the downtown area, usually hotter than what most of our coastal communities are at areas like Petco Park. So expect at least upper 80s, if not low 90s by the start of that game. Traffic this morning is light on the roads. No major crashes or collisions that we're tracking. If we do see any, we will let you know. But otherwise, CBS8.com/traffic is the place to go.